Hey everyone, Robert Nixon here with Shawn Campbell of Yard Sense. What is it? Lawn maintenance and property care?
Landscaping.
Landscaping and property care.
That's
You
right.
want to introduce yourself?
I'm Shawn Campbell, owner and operator, Yard Sense Landscaping and Property Care.
Awesome. He was easy to get in here. I didn't even have to beg him. It was perfect. So we did the profile assessment with him too. We tried to do an interview with Rod yesterday, and it kind of flopped. So this one's going to go good. But he was an interesting one. High gold mine and orange sky. They were a tie. So the orange sky, like what you see from orange sky, always moving, enjoy attention-getting activities, dramatic, colorful, casual dress, visible facial reactions and expressions, demonstrates confidence, often points and gestures. So hand movement, that's kind of like me. Am I orange on the other end? Yeah. So prefers fast-paced, brief, and to the point. Enjoys enthusiastic expression. Bounces from topic to topic. It's a little bit ADD maybe. No, is that you? May not finish thoughts or sentences. Prefers lighter laughter and stories. Often promotes ideas and products. But then it's funny because the gold mine side of it is like the total opposite. Makes lists. Always helping others. Manner tends to be business-like, traditional, dress of appearance, neat appearance. Can be formal, is dependable and reliable. That's what you see out of them. Voice, tone is businesslike and even. Wants information in writing. Wants detailed answers. Stays focused on topic. Wants to set schedules and deadlines. Like to explain things thoroughly. So this is like a thing we did at a training conference, and I always like to go into it. But my wife's the same, and they call her a unicorn because it's like two totally different personalities. So it's kind of interesting.
Cool.
So we're gonna ask Shawn a couple questions here. You're the owner operator of Yard Sense. How long have you been the owner for?
This will be going into year 7 for me. I did 3 years for a different landscape company before I jumped out on my own, and just kind of figured out one day that, you know what, this kind of, now that I've got my foot in the door, it's not rocket science, so decided to jump out on my own, and it's been good ever since.
Nice. I got a friend in Vancouver that does some crazy landscaping there. It's like, obviously, like some high-end stuff. It's pretty neat.
Yeah,
Get into some detailed stuff, right?
For sure you can.
Did you create the company? Was it yours?
I did, yeah.
What did you do before becoming an owner of Yard Sense? Are there any other businesses that you have owned or currently own?
Before Yard Sense, I did 3 years of landscaping for somebody else. I was managing Moxies in town for 10 years. I did that for.
Nice. So did that pass over the management
it definitely
side of it?
gave me a lot of like people skills for sure.
Yeah,
just because
right.
you're dealing with people daily, and I'm still doing that.
Yeah.
And that's definitely one of the things that I guess I get commented on the most is just how I'm actually, like, the majority of my clients are like 80% of them have been from day one.
Oh, yeah.
So I've had them for years, and they're actually like, I don't just go to their house, do the job, and go. Like, I actually spend time with them and like get to know them, and so I much prefer it that way. My dad kind of gives me the gear sometimes, like, you know, if you did less talking, you could get to 3 more yards in the day. It's like,
Does he work with you?
he does sometimes, yeah. So, but I'd rather have a good relationship than just in and out, you know.
Yeah, being personable is important for sure.
Definitely.
I think I was a heavy mechanic before.
Yeah.
So, not the most personable industry. When you are working with clients, but they're usually cracking the whip on you. So it was different getting into real estate. I definitely learned to try and be more personable, I guess, right?
For sure.
Big change.
There you go.
Is there anything you wish you had known for starting out? You didn't know?
I guess the biggest thing I kind of knew everything basically as far as how it works. Definitely the bookkeeping side part of it was some definitely getting used to for sure. And it usually takes a couple years before you understand how your bookkeeper wants your books to, or whatever, depending whether you do your own or have an accountant or whatever. But that was definitely, if you're gonna spend money, you spend it on a good accountant.
Yeah,
Because
that's not a waste of money.
They are worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, totally.
Because they can save you a lot of money, or they can cost you a lot of money.
And be there for you when something could go sideways.
That's right. And as far as owning another company, I actually do. I own a company called The Wooden Road, where I build rustic and reclaimed furniture, artwork, the West Coast trendy kind of stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
I have not published it. I have a web page and everything
Yeah, you gotta publish
ready
it.
to go, but I'm just worried of the beast that's going to be created once I hit go on that.
Like how much attention
Yeah.
you'll get and stuff.
Because I already do quite a bit of custom work for people that order stuff, and I don't really need the extra business, but
Yeah, fair enough.
we'll see how it goes.
But you like that, like it's sort
I
of
do.
a hobby almost.
I don't want it to become a job. That's the key. I like doing it.
Just special orders.
That's
people
right.
you like.
That's right.
And Shawn, I tried to find him on Facebook, and he said his business, and I was looking it up and couldn't find it. He's like, no, I'm not on Facebook anymore. So
No Facebook.
all sort of word of mouth and past clients and stuff, right? So
That's right.
you have a website for your business, though, right?
I do. Yeah.
This one, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I do. It's yardsense@gmail.com is my email, and yardsense.ca is my website.
And you can't find the wood stuff anywhere. Until it
You
goes
cannot
live.
find the wood stuff anywhere. I did a bunch of the markets
You
and
should've
stuff
brought
in
a
the
picture or
summers, but you'll just have to phone my Yard Sense number if you're interested.
There you go. There's not too many people. We don't want to scare them away from doing it.
That's right.
What makes you passionate about what you do?
I love watching things grow, and I love watching things change, and so I have a big gardens myself, lots of veggie gardens and stuff too, so just putting stuff in the ground and watching it take off is just, it never gets old for me. I just love doing it. I love all the different colors and it's just crazy to me how things change and morph, and it just doesn't lose its luster for me at all. Every year is the same. Just love it.
And you can probably watch like 7 years ago a garden maybe you designed or something, how much it's grown now.
Definitely,
Mature.
like I used to be a big proponent on the more soil that you can see in the garden, the better.
Yeah.
Because nice black soil up against plants, it kind of makes things pop. But as time has gone on, I really have come to appreciate that garden that is just full. So when I go in and do new plantings, I don't really like them right away because
Right.
the plants are so small. I'm like, hurry up 5 years, come on, right? So I do like both, but definitely am more towards the
mature stuff.
for sure.
Well, we're like I said, we were just landscaping our yard, and we're almost done, so we got to plant our garden bed. But we were driving around some of the neighborhoods, and you do notice that, like the one what's off of McFedrin there, that neighborhood, what's it called again? Can't remember. They got some really nice, well laid out, mature stuff in there.
Yeah.
Like with shade and
That's right.
it's really well done. I don't know who did it all, but
Yeah,
I just thought it was well laid out.
we did it.
Did you do it?
We did it when I worked for the 3 years that I did.
Oh, really?
before I
Okay,
started the
cool.
company.
You know the subdivision I mean,
Yeah.
the one right before we stopped.
Just trying to think of what the name of it is again.
I can't remember.
It's not important.
It looks good. It looks good in there, like the way it's laid out. Ours won't be that nice. Well, maybe we'll see.
Yeah, give it time.
Give it time. Yeah, we got a couple trees. Is there any other profession besides this one that you are currently in that that you're not currently in that you would like to attempt?
Oh, nothing off the top of my head, I don't
Just
think.
keep doing it. Passionate about it.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I mean, this is never gonna, even when I don't do this anymore, because eventually the body will quit at some point. Because, I mean, it's pretty tough on the body, but I'm gonna be that 90-year-old out in the garden weeding, and that'll be me.
My parents have a huge garden over on Hornby, and I dread the day I have to go deal with it. I don't know. I think I'll probably get. I like gardening. I think it's cool, but not now because I'm busy. But
Yeah.
I think when I was a little more laid back when I'm older, I wouldn't mind it, right?
Yeah.
They got like an acre garden. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Cows
it's a little bit much.
and it's massive. It's crazy.
That's
Not
right.
flowers. Well, fish has flowers she sells, but vegetables.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff, right?
It's all work.
Yeah, it's all work exactly. What would you say is your biggest accomplishment in your career, or have you reached it yet?
I'd like to say I haven't reached it yet. If I had to choose something, I would say I've got number 8 kid due in a week.
What?
Yeah, number
Crazy.
8, all with the same
I was gonna say
wonderful
same.
lady. Yeah,
Wife?
yeah, absolutely. Still together, and I think, having that many kids for one, and we've been together now for 13 years, and you make it past a couple years in this day and age, and it's an accomplishment. So
How
I
many
think
years? Sorry, 18?
13.
Oh, 13.
So making it this far is probably my biggest accomplishment so far.
That's huge. That's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
5 is a lot from like back in the day, and 8
Yeah, I know.
All boys, all girls, mix?
No, we've got 5 boys and 2 girls, and this next one is a girl. So we will have 5 and 3.
That's coming.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're not quite as orange. Hopefully they're more gold, because then you'll be able to keep them under reins
There
a
you
little.
go.
Not too wild.
Yeah.
I'll control them. Cool.
I just go to work. I have the easy job.
Yeah, these job.
That's
Yeah.
right.
She doesn't work. She does, but not.
She works.
She works for them.
Yeah.
For you.
That's right.
Huh. Interesting. What's your favorite memory of your career?
I don't know that I have a favorite or anything that sticks out in particular. I just like being able to drive past a place that we have maybe retooled or put in or whatever, and just be able to watch it and see, like, you know, because I mean, especially when it comes to doing things, like, not everybody's idea of what looks good is somebody else's idea, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I get a lot of people that will go, you know, just, you're the professional, do what you want. And I did that a few times, and it did come back, because like I said, they don't, they have a picture in their mind, though they may not seem to tell you that, they do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you have to give me some colors, some shapes, some stuff that I can work with, because you know, I've done it a few times and it hasn't worked out so well. So being able to just go to the properties that we've dealt with and watch them kind of flourish over the years, the ones that we have maybe planted new stuff in, and just watch them take off, is just it's fun to watch, and you know that people enjoy it, right? And it's nice to be able to, when people will upkeep it, it's kind of a shame a lot of the time to put in some pretty,
and then it gets overgrown,
and then people just leave it, right? So it's nice to be able to watch things. It's nice to be able to go into properties and make them come back to what they were before, the ones that have been let go and stuff like
it's
that.
It's insane what you can do, right? A couple days work to bring them back.
Oh, it's huge.
I think that's a key with anyone watching that's thinking about listing. When someone walks into your yard or sees the front of your house, and that's a huge thing. Spend a couple $100 pruning some stuff back and cleaning that up before you list. It's huge.
First impression is big.
Curb appeal, right?
Absolutely.
For sure. So this is an interesting one, and maybe it'll go back to when you started, but how do you market your business? You don't have social media.
No, so I put a sign in the curling rink last year. That's only because I curl. Yeah. As I do have business cards, but I've got very little signage on my vehicle, and that's been good for me. I've always been a firm believer in, you know, your work should speak for itself. So
for sure,
the majority of my work comes from working on somebody's property, and the neighbor comes over and goes, yeah, I like what you're doing. You want to come give me a quote or whatever, or word of mouth, and just there hasn't been a need to go and put my name all over the place, and it's been working out fine for me.
Yeah, cool. Quality speaks for itself, right? Yep. When you started, did you do much, or?
No, I didn't. I did the door knocking. I did my fair share of the face-to-face at the door, which I said before, people really appreciated and were kind of floored that somebody was actually coming to talk to them instead of just drop off a flyer or whatever. And got quite a fair bit of business that first year just from doing that. And I mean, I got a bit of a jump on the competition because of working at Moxie's and being a people person, right? Because going to talk to people at the door isn't something that a lot of people can do. Yeah. Just not, right?
I did it when I started. But
yeah, can be uncomfortable.
Less houses probably hire people to do, to sell or buy or sell as like, I don't know how many will go to it. Exactly. Need a landscaper, right? Or need yard work done.
Yep. And I mean, it was I wouldn't pick and choose the houses. It was just, I'm doing this whole road. Yeah. So, I mean, you can tell when you walk up to a house, these people have somebody that looks after this because it looks pretty good.
Right.
And you know what? The majority of those houses, they get looked after themselves. And it's usually the older folk that are looking after them. And they know what they're doing. They put their time in and they do a good job.
I don't need help doing it. They get insulted almost?
Yep. Some of them do. But
interesting.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good way. I would suggest it. The face-to-face thing, people really appreciate. So
yeah, for sure. Which is kind of what this is about. A little bit of face-to-face, and people can watch and see that we're all humans, right? And hopefully get some value, and maybe get some work if you need any more.
Always.
Good jobs. So, what are your long-term? Do you have any long-term goals for? I mean, obviously your new website and maybe dig that a bit, but
yeah, I would like to eventually get to the point with my business where I can more just kind of now this kind of goes against my personality, but just field the calls and, you know, have the crew go do their, but I'm a very hard guy to get to sit down, so I probably wouldn't do so well there. But I mean, I kind of started my own company to have the leisures down the road about, you know, going, you know what, I'm taking this week off, taking the kids camping because I can.
As long as you can run itself.
Exactly. So that was kind of like my main focus of starting my own company, was to be able to have a little bit of freedom down the road.
Yeah.
As far as
it doesn't happen too quick though, does it? No one knows that.
I actually went through a program with NIAFs, and they were really helpful and stuff like that. And they were pretty much a firm believer in 5 years. The 5 year is the point. If you can make it to 5 years, you'll make it. But most companies, it was staggering, like 85% of companies fail within the first 5 years.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, I have to make it to 5 years. I have to make it to 5 years. And I never really did end up having a problem making it. So it's been good from the get-go, and no complaints. Still love what I do, and
always ups and downs, of course, in the business.
Absolutely.
They say that's what my aunt always told me. She's like, people want to go be self-employed. She's been telling me this for years. People want to be self-employed and think they can make their own hours. She's like, it doesn't exist.
No.
It's 5 years minimum, and expect to be working every day at least 12 hours, right?
You definitely have to put your footwork in for sure.
Yeah.
And
I'm in year 4, so like almost.
Old guys are retired because they are supposed to be, and they put in their time. That's why they're retired. You got to put in your time. Right? And we're not old yet, right?
I don't know. How old are you again? Did you say?
Not old.
I never asked that question.
I'm not 37 and I'm not 39. How about that?
Oh, probably you're not that old. I'm 36, so getting there. The gray's starting to come out in me for sure.
Yeah.
The hair's still there though, so that's good. This one's interesting. So you said you have a tiny house when I talked to you that you built. Do you have any other? Well, can you tell us about that first?
Yeah, I was looking at doing an actual tiny house, so on a trailer, just so we could take it with us if we eventually do end up moving. I didn't find one, so I just built. I had planned it to be my office, but it kind of has just turned into the multi-function whatever room.
Yeah.
Just 16 by 12, and then standalone unit. I ended up building a deck off of it. I use mostly, like, all of the inside is like reclaimed wood and stuff like that, so it's very rustic. And I bought windows and stuff off Craigslist over the years, so it was a very cheap build because I built it all myself and I can do the building aspect part of it. So all said and done, I think I was about $4 or $5 grand into it with everything. So it was, and it's been awesome. I should have done it many years ago.
Is that where you go hide or what?
If I need to hide, but I don't usually need to hide. If I need to hide, I'm usually hiding from like work that I don't want to go do or something like that.
How old's your oldest kid?
17.
Yeah, so I grew up on Hornby, and I always had like a trailer out. From when I was like 15, 14, I had a trailer out back that was my bedroom, right?
Yeah.
So it gave me a little privacy, right? But
yeah, totally.
You got 8 kids, I can imagine. You must have a decent sized house. I hope so.
No.
Do you have any real estate investments at all? And what do you know, or how much do you know much about real estate? I guess.
I probably know a fair bit about it because we've been in the place that we're in for 8 years now.
Yeah. First house?
Yep. And we've never stopped looking from the day that we bought there.
You kept looking for a new house?
Oh yeah.
Really?
So I could probably tell you as much about MLS as you could tell me.
Probably more.
So yeah, we were just waiting because we're only in 1,300 square feet.
Oh yeah, okay.
So, but we're waiting.
3 bedrooms or 4?
3. I turned the garage into number 4.
Nice. Yeah,
so, but we're waiting for the right piece, the perfect piece. We're not just going to go because we're happy where we are. Like the space does not bother us.
No,
it just doesn't. And every waking moment, if it's possible to be outside, we're outside. So inside is just sleeping, and so it really doesn't bug us as much as some people would lead to believe. But no,
we're pretty spoiled as a society now with everyone needs so much space, right?
It would be nice to have more space, but you don't need it.
Yeah.
That's
when you get these families, I think it's East Indians, that come through, and they basically like buy a house, and all the families live there, and then when the oldest people get to a certain age, they buy them a house and they move out, and it's.
You know what?
But they never have mortgages or anything.
It's
They're
a
smart.
it's a pretty smart way. Not everybody could do that because
No.
a lot of families don't like
Don't
each
get
other.
along. Yeah,
But
exactly.
I mean, if that works for your family, that is a good way to do it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any advice for someone who might be interested in starting a business?
That's tough. It would be depending on what the business is, and it depends really how much money it might cost you to get going. Like I know from working in the food industry, and this was even back then, was like if you do not have the money to lose, don't even think about doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, food industry is probably one of the riskiest that you can go into because they're just a dime a dozen and there's just millions of them. And but like as far as for me getting into landscaping, I collected the bits and pieces over the years. I picked up an aerator, picked up a thatcher, got some mowers,
You can start small.
when I hit the go button, I had all the stuff that I needed, right? And I mean, it didn't cost me a ton because I was picking them up over time.
Yeah.
It's definitely, if you are going to or thinking about starting a company, it's going to be tough, and you have to make it work. You're going to have to put in the footwork, and it's really going to depend, I think, on first and foremost what kind of product you're putting out there, if it even is product or a service, and what you're willing to put into it. I mean, you're going to have to put in some serious time.
Yeah.
But if that's you as a person, I would say absolutely do it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I always said, like, I was heavy mechanic, and there's literally like one person I talked to about getting into real estate, and they basically were negative about it. Like this, I just heard the negative. So when I decided to do it, I didn't even ask questions. I didn't even research the industry. I just went, this is what I'm doing. I went and did my course and just jumped in with both feet.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't say that's the best way to do something, but I feel like if I hadn't done that, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Yep.
Because people would have put so much fear in me, right?
Totally.
I mean, it's not an easy industry, that's for sure.
No.
So, is there anything else you want to tell us about your business or anything? Or about starting a business, and then just some lighter sort of stuff there about you?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Okay.
One thing we were talking about before, he pointed out, he said that people think it's sort of, like people question you about it. If someone emails them or messages them online or whatever and has a question, it's something that is such a quick job for him, it might not make sense for him to come do it. He'll actually just tell you what to do to give you that value instead of...
So I was saying, when I first launched my website, there's a comment section there.
Right.
And I was saying, like, if somebody's going to send me a comment or even phone me and go, I wanted you to come over and prune this one rose bush that I have, or whatever it might be, I would just as soon send them comments through my website or whatever saying how to do it, because I'm going to go there for 15 minutes to deal with this bush, gonna have to charge them for it, right? And honestly, that 15 minutes for me is like, it's very precious because I'm leaving a site to come to do that. It's almost, it is, right? So like, I've always been a firm believer in, like, if I can show you or tell you how to do it and I don't have to come there and you don't have to pay me, I can do that. And I'm happy to do that. And in the end, like, if I'm going to do that for you, the chances are, if you have a bigger job down the road, you're going to call me.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm not about, believe it or not, I'm not in this business to get rich. That is not the goal, right? If I can keep my family fed and keep a roof over their head, I've got everything I need.
I think there's something said about sharing your secrets rather than just trying to keep them to yourself. And
absolutely.
You end up learning more in the long run.
Because you know what? There are so many things when it comes to plants alone. How many billions of different kinds of plants there are? I can't keep up with them. And I've been doing this for years, and I don't know all the plants.
Well, yeah, you must have to research sometimes on a certain plant, what to do.
It's definitely...
planting time, how to prune.
Yeah,
pruning time.
Google's very good, and talking to the people at the nurseries and stuff like that, because there's a lot to it. It's not as easy as one might think it is.
Yeah, it's nothing simple, right?
No.
You want to do it right anyways.
That's right.
So, what is your favorite word, or cuss word, or both?
I can't say that I have a favorite word. Whatever I'm trying to convey, I'll just use the words that need to be said.
Yeah.
And as far as cuss words go, I think that if you need to use cuss words to in your speech, you should find some different words to use.
There you go. It's funny he says that because I was swearing when he came in here. I'm like, oh, wow.
I've never used any.
No, you don't use
Ever.
swear.
Ever.
Never. Is that? I think his eyes are rolling a little bit there. They say that people that swear a lot are really smart sometimes. What I thought. But I don't know. I swear a lot less than I used to. Anyways. How would your parents describe what you do for a living?
They would say that I'm probably right up my alley, for sure. Probably played in the dirt a lot as a kid, and I'm still doing it now. My mom has stated several times that she finds it amusing that she ended up with a son that, you know, can have a beautiful garden and grow amazing things, and has a daughter that can't grow anything and kills everything she touches.
You had a green thumb.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But, I mean, my mom has had amazing gardens as long as I can remember. Can't say that I ever spent much time with her in the garden learning anything, but it's just kind of funny that I ended up...
Well, you do take her on a bit, probably.
For sure.
Are they in town?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, I love going over to see Mom's garden, and likewise, she likes coming over to see what's happening at my place, and so it's good.
Share.
Yep, for sure.
Do you have anything that you're looking forward to this year?
I was looking forward to some time off in the winter, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
No? The 8th kid's going to keep you working, too.
Well, that too.
That must be exciting.
It is. It's quite exciting. It's you know what, honestly, having that many kids, most people are like, you're nuts and stuff like that. But you know what? We've had them, other than there's 6.5 years between our first two.
Yeah.
And then it's like every 18 months, right? Mm-hmm. And it's gone, our oldest is a boy, then 2 more boys, 2 girls, 2 boys. This girl's going to be kind of left out. But they've got their plate, like, honestly, 3 kids was the hardest for us.
Yeah.
I know, I'm sure it's going to be different with every family, but the 3rd kid was the hardest, and every other kid after that, it's actually gotten easier. It actually has.
That's interesting.
And because they all, I mean, it has a lot to do with parenting and what you let them get away with, because what kind of kids you end up with, right? But we can take our kids anywhere, all of them, and chances are we're going to get complimented on how well behaved our kids are.
Yeah.
Right?
Like at a restaurant or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, it has a lot to do with how you let them run the show or not run the show at a young age.
Sure.
So,
they sort of take care of themselves to a point sometimes. Like my sister had twins.
Yep, they do. A lot of the time, like when if there's playtime, right? Like they look out. It's just
because they have someone to.
Yeah. So, but I mean, a lot of that. I go to work a lot, so I mean, the parenting I think falls a lot on my wife, and she does a pretty amazing job. So
you better say that.
She does.
You're not watching, hopefully. If you could have dinner with anyone in the world, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I would have to say that it would be Jesus, because I think for all the questions that I might want answered in life, that he might be the one that would be able to answer them for me.
There you go.
I don't think it's going to be anybody else.
No. What is the funniest thing that's happened to you recently?
You know, I was reading that question and I just couldn't think of anything. So I don't know if I don't...
You can skip it if you want.
Skip.
Is there anything I should have asked you but didn't? This was sort of the final thing there.
I don't know. I think we've covered a fair bit of ground.
Yeah, for sure. It was good. Else? And then we just always ask at the end, do you have anyone else? Well, Kent Holst recommended you from Listen Waffle.
Yeah.
Of course, Kent's great.
Yes, they are.
Do you have anyone else you would recommend for me?
You should go and interview Ben Horner from True Line Fencing.
Oh yeah, okay, I've heard of him.
Yeah,
I've seen him on social media.
Yes, you have.
I think. Yeah, interesting. Okay, Ben Horner. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll check him out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir.
Hey man, thank you.
Thanks for watching, everyone.